In the Latin American entertainment world, beauty is always paramount, but when stars decide to alter their appearance through plastic surgery, the results aren't always what they hoped for. Some seemingly minor changes turn into real shocks. Today, we'll look back at 30 of the most surprising plastic surgeries of Latin American stars, from subtle changes to transformations that leave everyone exclaiming, "Unbelievable!" Who dared to try? Who regretted it? By the end of the video, you'll encounter some names you certainly wouldn't expect. Before we begin, try to guess who will appear on this list, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the most shocking stories in the entertainment industry. Graciela Alfano was once a beauty icon of Argentina, with a natural charm that everyone remembered. One of her most striking features was her delicate, sharp nose, a characteristic that was both subtle and prominent. However, this very detail became the very thing she decided to change. Initially, it was just a small correction, then gradually a second, a third. It seemed that for Graciela, surgery was the way to perfect her face to her liking. But the reality was far from simple. The repeated interventions caused her nose to lose its natural softness, becoming high, stiff, and unnatural. At that point, it was no longer an improvement, but an attempt to repair something that had been altered too much. Every time she appeared in public, the question repeated itself. What happened to her nose? Although Graciela maintained her confident demeanor, her face no longer changed naturally over time. Instead of becoming graceful with age, it bears the indelible mark of a series of surgeries. Ironically, she already possessed enough charm and personality to shine without needing to compete for beauty. Yet, ultimately, her nose became the more talked-about topic than her artistic projects. Fabiruchis, a famous Mexican television host, once cultivated an image as an outspoken and uncompromising critic of the entertainment industry. He always insisted that his appearance was completely natural. No plastic surgery, no cosmetic procedures, just a healthy diet, regular exercise, and occasional hyaluronic acid treatments. However, time and changes in his face revealed a different story. His nose showed signs of alteration, his skin was unusually taut, and his features appeared stiff, indicating cumulative interventions over the years. This wasn't a sudden one-time change, but the result of multiple procedures. The most ironic thing is that he himself continues to deny all the rumors. Every time he appears in public, viewers wonder, if he never had surgery, how has his face changed? A man once renowned for exposing the dark side of others ultimately becomes the focus of the very questions he once posed. And that is the ironic twist fate has in store for him. Lucía Méndez was once a beauty icon of Mexican television, with a face that viewers could recognize at a glance. Her natural and captivating beauty accompanied her for decades, making her a symbol of elegance. But as time passed, age took its toll, and Lucía chose the path of cosmetic surgery to preserve her youth. Initially, the procedures were subtle and discreet, but then a decision to get a nose job, which she later admitted was a mistake, changed everything. As she entered her 60s, the consequences of the surgeries began to show. Her face looked stiff, her expressions became unnatural, and the charm that had become her trademark seemed to be obscured. The woman who once captivated all of Mexico now became a cautionary tale about choices in public life. In numerous interviews, she openly admitted her regrets and advised others to think carefully before deciding to undergo cosmetic surgery. But once the line is crossed, nothing can be undone. Every time she appears, Lucía becomes the center of attention, and her story is not just about age, but also a lesson about the price to pay when trying to cling to eternal beauty. Elizabeth Loiza Juncker was once a beauty icon admired throughout Colombia, with a perfect figure that many envied. But a single decision, a single belief in the promises of cosmetic experts, turned that dream into an unforgettable nightmare. Instead of safely enhancing her buttocks, dangerous biological substances were injected into her body, causing severe disfigurement, prolonged pain, and a series of complex surgeries to save her body from widespread damage. The scars are not only on her skin, but also etched into her life story and public image. From an admired beauty queen and model, Elizabeth became living proof of the high price to pay for pursuing perfect beauty while neglecting safety. This is not just a story of failed cosmetic surgery, but also a stern warning that anyone concerned about beauty should remember. And if you think this is the only case, be prepared. We have many more shocking stories behind the glitz and glamour of the celebrity world. Natalia Esperon's story isn't meant to be funny or satisfy curiosity, it's chilling. Behind her seemingly simple or impulsive beauty decisions lies a grave mistake that nearly cost her her life. In her youth, Natalia was a promising Mexican television actress, notable for her delicate features and gentle, natural beauty. Her career was flourishing, but like many stars, she gradually became convinced that her existing beauty wasn't enough. Just slightly more toned, more perfect legs, and all the opportunities would open up. This seemingly harmless belief led her to a dangerous decision. Initially, the cosmetic procedures were minor improvements, but the consequences soon spiraled out of control, nearly turning into a tragedy. Natalia's public image changed. Instead of admiring glances, each appearance surprised and questioned people. The irony is that she didn't lose her beauty because of a single mistake. The consequences were the result of many small, repeated choices, driven by self-doubt and the belief that just a little more and everything would be perfect. But sometimes it is those very little more choices that destroy everything that was already beautiful. Lin May's story was once the epitome of Latin stage perfection, radiant, captivating, and full of life. During her peak years, she was the pride of her audience, a dancer whose every appearance was mesmerizing. Her sharp features, powerful presence, and natural beauty seemed to guarantee her career. However, like many stars, the fear of aging crept in, opening the door to a disastrous decision. At a young age, Lin May believed the promises of a self-proclaimed cosmetic expert who offered a quick and safe solution to maintain her youthful appearance. No surgery, no risks, just a minor procedure. But reality was far more cruel than she imagined. Instead of collagen, the substance injected into her face was oil. Initially, the changes were subtle, but over time, the consequences became severe. Lin May's once radiant face began to swell, become asymmetrical, and distorted. Her former charm gradually gave way to a shocking image, and this mistake is almost impossible to completely rectify. For years afterward, Lin May became the focus of media gossip. The public only saw her altered appearance, forgetting that behind it was a woman enduring silent suffering. Her story is not only a personal tragedy, but also a costly warning about the hidden risks behind the promises of eternal beauty. Ninel Conde's story is living proof of just how thin the line between beauty and obsession can be. Once a prominent and captivating figure in Mexican entertainment, she impressed audiences with her sharp features, confident demeanor, and alluring charm. But over time, each public appearance became a puzzle. What has she changed this time? For Ninel, it wasn't just a single minor alteration. Instead, it was a series of successive interventions, gradually erasing the natural features that had become her trademark. Ironically, in her efforts to maintain her youthful and sensual appearance, she inadvertently lost those very things. Her once expressive face now looks stiff. Her vitality seems to have vanished, and her natural sex appeal has given way to a strange image that leaves audiences stunned. Although Ninel maintains her confident demeanor on stage and in front of the camera, repeated interventions speak volumes. The problem isn't a failed surgery, but the habit of a little more. When that phrase becomes a constant belief, the face ceases to be a reflection of beauty and becomes a witness to excess. Do you think Ninel Conde still retains her charm, or has that beauty been overshadowed by cosmetic interventions that have gone too far? Leave a comment. I'd love to hear your opinion. Nacha Guevara was once the epitome of a woman defying time. Smooth skin, a toned physique, and a radiant stage presence. A prominent Argentinian singer, actress, and intellectual, she consistently conveyed the message that age is not to be feared, that discipline, willpower, and inner energy are the keys to overcoming limitations. In the public eye, she seemed to possess a secret that many only dreamed of. However, over time, her face began to tell a different story. Small, discreet alterations to her nose, chin, and breasts became increasingly apparent. Her features became sharper and more defined, and every detail of her face revealed a series of cosmetic procedures, a stark contrast to her earlier claims of naturalness and self-reliance. From the image of a graceful and strong aging woman, Nacha gradually came to be seen as battling time with plastic surgery. Ironically, she never really needed it. Her talent, voice, and strong personality were enough to keep her in a respected position. In choosing to compete with time, the natural qualities that once set her apart were overshadowed. Today, Nacha Guevara remains a respected figure, but her face has become a symbol of an unavoidable paradox. The woman who once championed natural beauty ultimately became caught up in the whirlwind of cosmetic surgery. She once declared she would stop and accept the ravages of time, a correct decision, but one that came too late after the public had already witnessed the noticeable changes. Laura Bozzo transformed her face into another stage. A stage where drama, screams, and strong personality became an endless performance. Famous for her iconic quotes, she was determined that the cameras wouldn't stand idly by. Collagen, constant touch-ups, and openly admitted cosmetic surgeries became a clear strategy, maintaining fame at all costs. And the results of all that were vividly displayed under the high-definition television spotlight. Over the years, her face became excessively stiff. The features stiffened, the expressions lost their naturalness, and her once aggressive personality was amplified by the rigidity of her face. Not just her face, Laura admitted to having almost her entire body altered, including parts nobody asked for. Her body became a never-ending project of continuous modification. The irony here is clear. Someone who built a career by exposing the misfortunes of others ended up in the center of attention, but in a different way. While still appearing on screen with her familiar personality, the public now looks more at her appearance than her words. Criticism and memes spread relentlessly. Laura still defends her decisions, viewing the new changes as just a small improvement. She remains prominent, but the more unsettling thing is that her image credibility is beginning to waver. Her image no longer aligns with her personality, but begins to compete with it. On television, excess always comes at a price, and with Laura Bozzo, that price is etched right on her face, no explanation needed. Rafa Polinesio was once a children's idol, a friendly face, a funny guy, a safe role model on YouTube loved by millions of young viewers. However, plastic surgeries gradually turned him into a public experiment, taking place right before everyone's eyes. And Rafa didn't hide anything. He documented the entire process, broadcasting the incisions, the swelling, and the changes as part of his entertainment content, allowing viewers to watch every minute of it. Over time, his face changed rapidly. The features became distorted, the swelling increased, and his expressions no longer matched his familiar voice or style. Each new video elicited the same reaction: surprise, confusion, and countless memes spreading online. The changes were no longer a single minor alteration, but a cumulative series of interventions, gradually blurring the face that had made Rafa famous. The most controversial aspect wasn't the surgery itself, but how Rafa publicly revealed it all. A content creator whose audience is largely children is turning the operating room into a show. He shows the pain, the swelling, and the post-operative results as a direct, shared story. Some praise his honesty and courage, but many argue this is a dangerous line, where transparency is easily confused with irresponsibility, masked as social media bravery. The debate spread across the internet. Rafa didn't hide anything, but the consequences are clear. His face has lost its familiarity, his expressions are different, and his public image is caught between likes and criticism. Those videos capture it all, turning Rafa's face into a part of collective memory, but no longer the face that garnered millions of likes in its early days. Ultimately, these stories aren't just about plastic surgery or outward transformations. They're a reminder that true beauty lies in personality, talent, and how we face the passage of time. Each transformed face carries a message. Don't let social pressure or media define your worth. And what about you? What do you think of these controversial cosmetic surgeries? Who is the celebrity that surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting and surprising stories.